That's probably enough time. Right here, hello, welcome back to Kerbal Space Program Science Mode. Part 23. I'm not counting like the bonus stream episodes as part of like the proper numbers. They come under like 21 and 22A, etc. We are going. We're continuing our. But primarily today, we're continuing our Duna stuff. So we're going to be like cleaning up the last few bits around Duna, ready to sort of like wait for our return window. And then if we get time, we're going to continue with the Minmus resupply mission, which is, Minmus resupply and habitation module plan, which we still have to finish designing. So let's get started. Resume saved Science 1. So yeah, we're going to go straight to Duna, and there's a few things we need to deorbit. Let's turn my headphones down a little bit. Right. Tracking station. And there's a fair bit. Actually, there's some debris here, which we will just terminate because. Oh yes, there is another thing we need to do. The return pod probe is still in orbit. I forgot to deorbit it last time, so we'll do that first off, just to get rid of it. So we're gonna try landing this thing, and it's like no biggie if it doesn't land. But yeah, it's drifted far enough away from that. We shouldn't be a problem. 2,500 meters per second. That's plenty to decelerate ourselves. So let's do that. Let's just lower our orbit down. Down to 80. That's not. H179 is fine. Be a 12-second burn. Should be a good, yeah. It's flying away quite quickly. Let's just time warp around there, because no sense waiting. Then we'll get to Duna. Time warp complete. That was a bit quick for the final sort of time warp there. I think hitting the button twice is better than hitting it 3 times. Yep. That'll do nicely. Let's just do a good old 35k, and then it should come down somewhere around about here. So let's just go do that. Then we'll see how the deorbit goes. Again, not a big issue if it explodes, but if we can recover it, then might as well. do. Let's just time up our way down until the common line. And let's retract our solars and see how we go. Okay, look, our velocity is going down now, so we're hitting. Still going down. Still above the. There you go. Yeah, velocity's still going down, so we're definitely above. We're above terminal velocity now. And we might as well. Pop our drogues. Make sure I actually stage this time, because I think I forgot to do that previously. They should come up. They are staged. There we go. SAS. Actually, let's turn it on and just keep it on stability assist. Maybe it'll stop it from falling over when it reaches the ground. And let's just time warp down to 1000 when the main chute should spread out. Hope they give us a nice, hopefully, yeah, 5.25 meters per second should hopefully be, let's just go back, let's just go down to the last 100 meters. And then we'll go to Duna and complete that stuff. And then at some point I'm thinking about whether or not we should look into, because we do have a few transfer windows coming up, so maybe trying to do Moho or Drez or something before Jeb and the crew get back. That would be the plan. Last 100 meters. Nice. Recover vessel. No 0.2 science, which is, yeah, that's important. Oh, 0.2 science, right, tracking station, let's go do some Duna stuff. So where is the, there's a bunch of debris, which I feel like maybe we'll get rid of, I don't know. Duna Comsat is where we're going next, because that is our next job. So we're going to start, so yeah, so, go to in-flight. Duna Comsat is currently in a low Duna orbit. We have 3 of these looking, we have 3 of these essentially, like each of these carried 2 of the Comsats, and we're gonna jettison them facing retrograde, so that hopefully they will deorbit when we do so. But what I want to do is I want to jettison these. Actually, having said that, there's still some fuel left in here, so we want to do the staging here such that we basically want these up here, because we don't want to jettison these until they're actually out of fuel. So basically, what we want to do is we have on the surface, if we turn off debris for a second, a science module, and actually I think we're about, yeah, we are actually about halfway round. So I was going to do the first one about halfway round to see where it landed, and then basically do the so might as well do that now. So I mean, I'm hoping that's going to oh yeah, I've turned off debris, haven't I? Right. It's just going to be spinning forever. Let's see if it actually will deorbit itself. Periapsis, oh, 15 kilometers. Yeah, that's going to deorbit itself. So yeah, basically what we do is we're going to see where this lands, and hopefully it will land somewhere close enough to the deployed science that it will, the impact will register some seismic data for us. So, I mean, this is just going to keep spinning until it hits the atmosphere, because that's what space be like. So let's just fast forward until we hit the... Oh yeah, of course, the spinning gets stopped by time warp, doesn't it? Just a bit of a... We need to remember that next, because I think there was a previous one where we had an issue where the escape module was spinning, and I'd forgotten that I can use the locked camera to be able to access it, like stuff on it. But also, if you hit time warp, I think it does stop rotation. This should now, yeah. So I'm interested to see whereabouts this comes down. Actually, I will turn on landing because I want to use this as like a relative thing, because we were about the other side of the planet when we jettisoned this. So the next time if we're like a bit further around or a bit further back, we can try and like aim our bits so they land in different places. Essentially, is the idea. But I have no idea if this will even make it through that. I mean, it should do. I mean, it's fairing stuff and structural stuff, so it should make it through the atmosphere, I think. I mean, again, Duna's atmosphere is really thin, so it's not going to do. Like, you don't need to worry too much about overheating when you're entering Duna's atmosphere. The thing you have to worry about is running out of not slowing down enough. Which, you know, for this thing we don't really care about. We want this thing to hit the ground fast because ideally I'd want everything to be destroyed. But obviously there might be parts that don't get destroyed. Yeah, it's a bit annoying that it's coming down in the dark, but there you go. Let's just fizz warp until we start actually getting something interesting. Oh, I guess there's no maneuver mode because there's no there's no no way of controlling it at all. So yeah, this thing's gonna come in at night, which is a bit annoying, but you're not really gonna see much, unfortunately. So I guess we'll just try. Let's just turn this on to terrain mode so we can roughly return to normal, but just before we hit. But yeah, I mean, there's not much point like sort of like dwelling on this because again, you can't really see anything at the moment, so there's not really much point in doing much more than just watching it go bang. We're definitely hitting the ground at least. So I think the next time I'll prioritize trying to get it to come down during the day. So like we'll jettison it like the minute we hit, like we'll jettison it the minute we cross the threshold into daylight, and then hopefully it'll come down in during the day. Because I feel like it's probably better to see things crashing into the ground rather than necessarily getting the best scientific data out of it. Because again, we're probably going to be like not short on science, so it doesn't really matter that much. Yeah, look, it's just wobbling. Oh, I think the atmosphere is probably catching onto it now. 5,000 meters, 4,000, 3,000. Yeah, you can see a bit better now that it's heating up. I think maybe we are. I think it's sort of glowing a bit because it's getting a bit toasty. I don't think we're actually hitting anywhere near. I think the lighting's changed a bit. Like we're still on the night time. There we go. There you are. Science. And some bits survived, but that's not unexpected. Let's turn off landing mode. Let's go back to the tracking station. And we'll just be here for a minute because we're going to switch straight back to the Duna Comnet, which should be Duna Comsat here, which will fly. We're going to do the same thing again, but this time we're going to try and have it crash in during the day because it'll be more fun that way. So, looks like we are just about coming up on daylight, I think. Yeah, we're pointing retrograde, then this will be the opportune time to do it. Oh yeah, I'm guessing because it'll start spinning because like the center of mass is the center of mass is not like is off center, so yeah, that kind of makes sense. Right, let's see, map mode. Yeah, that's about where we want to be. Let's do it. Off it goes. Switch to. Wow, 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 wow. Right, is this actually going to deorbit? Yeah, it should deorbit. Okay, right. I think this warp isn't really gonna give us much, so we're just gonna time warp her down. There, that's much better. You can see what's going on now. Yeah. So once we've done this one, on the next one, then we have we're gonna do a rendezvous to try to basically finish off refueling the Duna, the Duna main ship. And then we have two, like, we've got this and the other, and the Duna Lander's transfer stage to deorbit. Let's just fast forward this. So this should be more interesting to watch. Switch this to altitude, out to terrain altitude. And yeah, let's just watch this thing float all the way down. Sun's quite high. Let's leave landing turned on. Should hopefully get start seeing a landing spot. There we go. Yeah, it's rapidly approaching. I'm sure this is riveting stuff. Just watching a piece of debris. Try and find some kind of like aerodynamic equilibrium. Oh, terrain's rendering in. We're coming down on pretty much the opposite side of the planet here, so. Oh wow, it's coming down quickly. There it is. You see, we're getting like very little science there, so. Let's do that one more time. There we go, tracking station. And then hopefully, like the thing we've got left in the Duna on the Duna Comsat is basically our refueling stage. And then we've got two nuclear-powered rockets to crash into Duna surface and cause a little bit of a nuclear incident. We'll try and aim those somewhat closer to the. Yeah, we'll try and aim those somewhat closer to the because they're going to be a lot heavier. They're going to come down a lot quicker, I think. So. Yeah. So let's see what we're doing. We're heading into nighttime again. Let's do it around about here. On our so we'll jettison at night, and hopefully we'll be coming around the day. Hopefully, because like dawn is just around the corner. Actually, let's walk a little bit further around. Yeah, so dawn should be not too far away. We are facing retrograde, so let's try rotating this so the thing is towards Duna, because that should right. I should send it spinning that way. Well, hopefully this should have a... Oh yeah. So hopefully that'll come down. Hopefully that'll come down not too far away from this thing actually. But yeah, let's bring it to the surface of Duna. There's daylight. Here we go. And then let's just fizz warp. Ooh, look at that atmosphere. I don't have any visual mods installed, so this is just a stock atmosphere. But yeah, it needs to start rotating. That's our landing thing. We're gonna go flying over the deployed science. But I don't think we'll be landing too far from it. I mean, these things aren't very heavy, so they're not going to be generating a lot of impact, whereas those nuclear stages will hopefully be somewhat beefier when they come down. And, you know, cause basically detonating dirty bombs on the surface of Duna, so... Oops. Oh yeah. Terrain altitude. A little wiggle. Okay. There's our landing spot. Coming to meet us. We'll... Oh yeah, so we definitely found a streamlined... Yeah, we're just coming straight down. This one seems to have a much different drag profile. I imagine some things will probably survive this impact, so... We'll see what happens. Here it comes. Not really much way of gauging distance here, but there we go. And... That everything? I think it's everything. Tracking station! Right. So that's 3 of those things deorbited, and like a tiny amount of science achieved. So now if we go to Duna Comsat, and we fly it. Now what are these? I think these are these are some of the landed debris. So I think if we just destroy these. Yeah, some of these are bits that will survive the impact. So yeah, Duna Comsat. What maneuver does it have in a day and a... What? Okay, let's check out what this thing seems to think has a maneuver plotted, and I'm not sure why. I don't remember plotting a maneuver. Oh, -1. Oh yeah, I forgot to cancel the maneuver from last time. Okay, that's fine. So Duna Comsat, which is currently That's Duna lander transfer stage. That's Duna Comsat. Switch to, let's do our, so the plan now is to rendezvous with, basically this thing is now essentially a flying fuel tank. We have a docking board here, which we put on when we launched, with the hope that we'll be able to use it, because this thing is still chock full of fuel. These also have some fuel in them, but not very much. So we're probably going to lose these on the, actually we might be able to, how much delta V does it take to like just deorbit at this stage? Just reduce this down to like, oh yeah, not a lot, 52 meters per second. So I'm thinking if we do a 50 meters per second, that's a 7-second burn. So if we do a, and I think we should rotate quite quickly. So what we're going to do is going to rotate retrograde, 7-second burn, rotate prograde, burn, ditch these tanks because I don't like there's very little fuel in them. Having said that, we don't actually like 50 meters per second isn't a lot, so I feel like maybe we could just do the yeah, I think so, because I mean we can use this fuel to yeah, let's not waste fuel. We can always ditch them at a later point, but I mean they shouldn't interfere with our rendezvousing with here. So let's look. Our descending node is minus 1.9. That's the next thing we're hitting. So in 2 minutes, that I'm over here. Descending node, we want to go up. Three, two, 1, 0, and that will be a 63 to 61. That's not the worst thing. That's a 4-second burn. Then we'll worry about doing try and do a rendezvous in on the daylight side, so it's a bit more fun to watch. So let's just I'll do. Cool, right, so that's that done. Yes, we're nowhere near right, so we do have a almost circular orbit. Because we're kind of lined up with them now, so I feel like we're probably going to be a few orbits away from a decent intercept. Okay, let's add an orbit, goes further around. Maybe we can just add orbits until we bring it around. There we go. That's 5.1 kilometers. 8.1. Nope. Okay. Orbit 3. 3.9. 4.0. 5.3. Okay. Let's get this right down. 8, 7, 8, 9. Nope. 7, 7, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 5. It's probably gonna go back to 6. Yep. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. 2.9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 6, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nope. Nope. 1.9, 8, 7. Nope. I could probably do the rest I could probably do the rest from 0.7, I think. Okay. It's a 3-second burn. Yeah, we're gonna be able to do this on the 2 point within the 233 meters per second easily. Let's just warp to it. How are we doing on that? Still 20 days for that. Yeah, I'm thinking like either a Moho or Dres, depending on what we want to do. Alright, it's probably not going to be quite perfect, but it'll hopefully be good enough. 0.7k, that's fine. We're going to be approaching at like 21 meters per second relative speed, so we're going to be able to accelerate a bit before we decelerate. So 24 minutes. Let's go to 20 minutes. Okay, let's switch this to Intercept. And let's start. Oh wow, okay. They're already 4 kilometers away, so we can start dragging our prograde onto target. Okay, we're going to want to start decelerating in a second. There we go. Right, yeah, we're approaching 3 kilometers. We're about 30 meters per second, so we want to start using the deceleration to guide ourselves the rest of the way. So, yep. So now we push retrograde. There's enough delta V left in this thing to get it back to curving. Oh well, yeah. We wanna. Nice and gentle. So hopefully, I think we should be able to fully refill the tanks with this bad boy. We're at 17-meter intercept. We're going to want to come to a stop way before that. So a bit nice and gentle here. So yeah, we're going to refill the rest of the main ship with this thing, and then whatever's left is going to go and explode on Duna's surface. Yeah, so we're going to come to a stop just about, like, say, we seem to be coming in on the side we actually want to be on. So but our point of reference is at the other end of the ship, so we don't want to come in too close. So I'm thinking we stop about 90 meters away, and then basically do the approach from there. There we go, 0. Cool, so let's control from here. Let's rotate to point at target. And for some reason the RCS doesn't seem to be working very well on this thing, I'm not sure why. Maybe it's because it thinks it might be because it thinks the things are blocked, maybe. I don't know. Oh yes, the thrust limiters are all down, that's why. Yes, because we're doing yeah, okay, that makes sense. Cool, right, so let's switch to this thing. Let's control from here. Let's set as target. Oh wow, okay, it points at the thing that you're controlling from. Let's point our butt at for our butt refuel. That should do that. Cool. Let's edge our way forwards. There we go. I was wondering why it wasn't working very well. Yeah, it's all a fair way away. We can try and point prograde so we can slow ourselves down. Yeah, because I left the RCS thrusters on very low thrust for like very fine orbital adjustments. So yeah, no wonder it wasn't doing much. Cool. So these should now be pointing at each other. So let's just hope that we can just do this. And let's just hope that they can join together. If I hit this, does this? Yeah, this will retract the solar panels, which is probably a good idea for the docking. KSS Pioneer, prepare yourself. Yeah, this is a nice, in theory, easy method of docking, because yeah, these two should just keep tracking each other. So even though the velocity vector isn't quite aligned, they should swing around and connect up. Nice. There we go. So let's get ready for a fuel injection. So in theory, if we grab this, we'll basically use this as our priority. Because in theory, I think if we drain from this, these should refill it. Do this. Do. And 2. There should be 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then the main one. If we hit out, and we just keep pumping until these are full. Cool. That is a fully fueled ship. Lovely. So there's not much more we can do because we're not going to be like these guys aren't going to be burning any fuel until we get back to Duna, until we're going back to Kerbin. So that is this job done. So if we undock here, switch back to this, hit this, and back ourselves away. And yeah, we've got less delta V, but we've still got quite a lot of delta V. Get ourselves away from that. Drop our orbit a bit. Fuel truck has fueled. Let's just... "61 kilometers. Seems like a good shout. Those guys should be over there somewhere by now. Oh no, over there. Sorry. Yeah, there they go. Cool. Right. Let's crash this thing into Duna's surface. So. Let's circularize first of all. I'll do. Circularize and we'll pick our crash site, and then we've got a couple of things to crash. And hopefully we can continue on. We can go back and look at the Duna lander debris. Cool. Let's just time warp to that. I suspect we're doing most of our yeah, because I think we won't need 186 meters. We won't need 160 meters per second to deorbit. I don't think. So those things will deorbit themselves when we're doing our deorbit burn. We'll do nicely. Right, let's pick our deorbit site. So I'm thinking we just like deorbit to the point where like we're definitely gonna land around here somewhere. So I'm thinking let's try and fly over the Try and hopefully not land on it directly, but at least land somewhere nearby. So if we do it afterwards, then hopefully there's not much chance of us accidentally landing on it. But I think we'll have to be very, very unlucky to accidentally land on it. Which, you know, is well, we'll have to drag it on a bit, but because again, Duna does rotate, so let's do that, and let's just time warp down to the maneuver to the burn itself. Cool. So yeah, we're just gonna smash this thing into the surface of Duna. Hopefully close enough to that to get some decent data. Burn. Get rid of those. They'll crash anyway, but we don't necessarily need them. That'll do. Right, so yeah, let's just time warp down to 50. Let's time warp down to 50. Oh yeah, we need to cut that so we can rotate to point retrograde. So we're going to come in engines first, and we're not going to bother burning down because we do want to come in as fast as possible, give us the best chance of destroying everything. And we are below 50, so let's subtract our solars. Not that we really care about them, but you know. Okay, should hopefully be landing mostly daylight, but let's go up to 4 times vis warp. Switch this to this, and hopefully watch a spectacular. There's our landing spot. I'm not sure we can see it yet. Oh, do we have landing mode turned on? We do, so we should see a landing spot at some point. There it is. Get ready for some explosions. Whee! Oh no, this is gonna survive. I think. No, it's not gonna survive. There we go. That's one. We have one more to do. It's back to tracking station. Because we have the Duna lander transfer stage to deorbit now. Which is currently just past the hour mark. Which has got, it's probably doesn't have quite, it's probably just about enough fuel to deorbit itself. So let's set up our, so what we're going to do is we're going to try and have this thing, actually to be fair, we could probably have this thing like deorbit now. Because I want this to come down this side of it. So I think what we'll do is just point retrograde, we'll burn all the fuel, and have it come down, hopefully not directly on top of, we'll find out. Well, we're definitely not going to hit it, which is a good thing. Let's just burn up all our fuel. There we go. Let's do this. Keep pointing retrograde, and yeah, let's just time warp down to atmosphere. Keep pointing ourselves retro. Let's just retract everything and prepare for our imminent and very rapid disassembly. And we'll just fizz warp down. There's our landing spot. Probably turn this off, we don't necessarily need it. We know we're coming in. Oh. 99 science, not bad. And they are going. We'll see if we can wait for them to come down, or if we're going to get the. That one went. Oof, that went fast, gone 3.5 kilometers away already. Okay, that one survived, apparently. Oh, anyway, let's yeah, okay, I think that's everything. Tracking station. We don't need to do anything else with the Duna KSS Pioneer at the moment. So, we shall continue with our other preparations. So, let's look at our. Yeah, so we've got 20 days for that science lab thing that comes back. And again, we're looking at potentially whether or not we can go Moho. Although Moho does require a lot of delta V. I think if we actually look at the delta V map of the planets, you'll see, yeah, Moho requires, yeah, a fair bit. Yeah, it says about 8k to get there, so it'll be about 16k to get there and back, in theory. So we'll see if we can design something that has that much delta V in it. Like it might be worth just sending a probe or something. We'll try to send something to Duna, to Moho, and possibly Dres. Though I may have to create the next sort of delta V map version of that to get the upper thing where Dres is, because Dres is, I think it's between somewhere in between these two, between Duna and Joule, because that's where its planetary alignment is, but I don't know what the exact numbers is from looking at that. Anyway, but before we do anything like that, because again we've got quite a few days before we need to worry about that, so we're going to continue with our Minmus craziness, which is gonna be fun times. Well, hopefully, assuming it even flies, which I'm hoping it does. Cool, let's open up the Absolute Madness, which is the Minmus Habitation Module. Oh god. So, I was thinking actually if I could stick one of these up here. Don't know if we can. Maybe if we make this somewhat even longer. There we go. Rebuild this. Good God. Right, yeah, so, oh yeah, I was gonna stick a, junior docking port on the side so that we can dock to it if we want to. Is the idea. And then this thing I was gonna stick, maybe put these on like here, and then have a couple of these bad boys either side, so that we have some RCS control is the idea. So we have a 5-horn there, and then if we add a couple of like minor RCS fuel tanks, I'm thinking. Because there's no RCS fuel on that currently, so what if we add a sample of these to the back? Like so. I'm sure that will be fine. How much do these weigh? Quarter of a ton. Great. And then we'll add a like that, so then that door is that way. Let's add a ladder. Like so that we have some ability to sort of climb towards the thing, although I don't think we're going to really get that close, but you know, anything helps. So yeah, the idea is that this thing, when it flies back with our cables on board, will gingerly approach and dock here, and then our cables will climb up into this thing, depart from this bit, and make their way home. Is the hope. Let's strut this up a bit more. I'll do. And then maybe a couple more just to... Everything is better with struts. My God. What is this monstrosity? Right. So yeah, so in theory, once we get into orbit, this thing has enough to get to Minmus. Has enough to land to land or to... Oh boy. Let's program let's see if we can program this Cal controller. Yeah, because we need to sort out all of the different action groups as well. So actions. Open track editor. Right, I need to remove these from symmetry. Okay, so hopefully if we select this one, then we say target angle, So these are the rear hinges. We don't really care about the front hinges too much. Might just leave them as is, to be honest. Although having said that, it probably makes sense to. So this one, target angle. This one, target angle. Cool. We want to screw around with the front engines. So we want shut down and activate engine, and we want this one to be. Oh wait, no. Oh, hang on. These are still in symmetry, aren't they? So we want to. Yeah. Let's because we want to remove these from symmetry. So. Remove from symmetry. Remove from symmetry. And then that way we can select. There we go. So we want to select the front ones because we want to be able to shut down and activate the front engines. Shut down and activate. There we go. Right, so. Plan is that, yeah, 5 seconds is probably fine. We take rear hinge 1, we have it rotate to 0, make that a straight line. Wah 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 wah. Rear hinge 2, likewise, we make this 0, make it a straight line, then these hopefully rotate up like this. Front hinge, might as well have them do the same thing. Oh wait, no, we want that to be 0, we want that to be a straight line. This one again, 0, straight line. So in theory now we do this, we like that. Then we want the shutdown engines to go at the end. So we want to go to like here and make it like 4 seconds in. Similarly with this shutdown engine, we want this to happen at 4 seconds. And then we want the activate to happen near the beginning, so that when we run it backwards, it goes into like 4 engine mode, essentially is the idea. So we have this kick off at 1 second. And same with this. So yeah, basically it means that when we play it forwards, it'll activate the engines first, but then it deactivates them. So we end up with them in the state we want them to be in. And then hopefully that will be flying in. Well, having said that, let's have these go rotate like, I don't know, because I kind of want them to stay in line so that we don't have any like weird balancings. I guess I can manually rotate them out of the way if they don't fit around this thing when we dock. But that will do. So if we close this and then we do, so we have our action groups. So we need to decide what our action group sets are going to be. So the default is going to be the main transfer stage. So the main transfer stage is going to be, so we go custom 10, which is the usual like thing. Okay. yeah, it kind of makes sense. By the time we're extending solar panels, those will be detached. So default is going to be this thing. Then, so we have different stages. So we're going to have the set one is going to be the return slash sky crane. So basically these these two will have their things being controlled by this set of returns. So we're going to extend the solar panels there. We're going to extend these solar panels like so. Yep, and then this is going to be the hab module. So this one is going to be all of these. Extend solar panel, toggle solar panel, toggle solar panel, and wherever the communication thing has gone, and toggle antenna. Cool. Right, so in the return slash sky crane, we're going to have custom. Let's have. Custom 1 likes to be ladders, so let's have custom 1 be the hab modules ladders. The sky crane's ladder. And then have default will be this thing's ladder. Cool. Then custom 9 I usually have for engine deactivation, which I feel like I will do the I will have cal controller, which will be to toggle direction and play sequence. We then open the editor here, we set player to reverse, so it reverses direction and then plays like so. Yeah, let's hope that works. So it is like we take off, we hit that button, it goes into like forward flying mode. Oh yes, we also want there is a. I wonder if actually there is something I want to do. Back into action groups. Cal controller, open the drag editor. I want to see what options we have for the control pod. There's a command pod in here, and I want to see if we have the ability to access field actions. I don't know what toggle RW is. Oh, that's toggle reaction wheel, I think. Cycle wheel mode, toggle animation control from here. I don't know what access fields does. About the seat. Oh well, you can actually have it eject them. I don't know if we can do that automatically, so we're going to have to do that manually, but hopefully we'll be hopefully we can just we can do that. We can set that up before we, because I think the idea is that we'll have a control point forward rather than control point default when we after we do the interchange will be the idea. Right, so I think that's that. So we have everything we need here. So now we need to get this whole horrendous thing into orbit. So let's set this to sea level to be the most pessimistic. Oh yes, we also want to make sure we've got the abort action group as well, because again we are so yeah, default activating this thing. Let's close this. Let's hit that decoupler. Let's. I guess we'll have to. Well, we'll revisit this because I think we need to actually like finish building the rocket before we actually do that. So we've got to get this damn thing into orbit, which means we need to first of all coupling. We need a TD37 decoupler. Actually, no, we don't need a decoupler because this thing is an engine plate, so we just need to make this medium with medium work. So we want a not engine plate. We want a payload fairing. Let's just see. I think this should be big enough to. That's way bigger than it needs to be. Seems to be more sensible. There we go, and then we can strut things to the top here. So, 108 tons. This isn't going to be bad at all. Right, so let's just assume this thing is going to be big as fuel tanks. Let's just grab a large. That's the S. We want to grab a large S3 if we have one. Like a medium-sized S3. Let's plonk let's plonk a engine plate on the bottom and plonk 4 mainsails on it. Let's see what this gives us. Ooh, they're a bit big. Let's plonk for 4 vectors. Thrust weight ratio 2.3. Oof. That is big. That is in vacuum as well, isn't it? Yeah. That is, again, 707 meters per second is a lot. But this is going to be our upper stage. You heard me right, upper stage. So again, 2.3 is much. Also, I'm wondering maybe there's a better option because like 4 of these is 4,000. Is about 4,000. So is there one which gives us a better? Without so much fuel vectoring, essentially. I don't think there is. Nah. Maybe 3 mainsails? Maybe 3 mainsails will fit, whereas 4 might not. I mean that's kind of believable. Not quite as good, but again 2.51. I feel like that's still a bit overpowered. Maybe double. .73. That's not so bad. Again, this is like an upper stage, so. Right, let's hit up a 4-way catamaran with a debris, and then you know what? Yeah, I guess like maybe 3.5 meter parts. Question is, are we actually gonna need more than that? 3.5 and then reduce to 2.5 might give us enough clearance. Or yeah, 3.75, sorry. Fuel tanks. Double attach node, let's there you are, 1720 meters per second already. I'll pop up a bit when we add in a, not one of those, a 4-way fuel line. Oh wow, it's even 1720 3.17. Again, I don't think we're going to need a lower stage than this. Like, I feel like this is going to get, like, once we've added the fuel, this is going to get us most of the way into orbit. Let's find out. Let's just keep an eye on the thrust to weight ratio, because that's going to start going down. Like, I want to launch something that's big enough that requires, like, this setup and then another stage below it. But maybe not today. Alright, let's see if we can we do orange, orange, orange. Yeah, like orange. I mean, yeah, this is already enough to get into orbit. And this will get us most of the way into orbit. 1.92, so let's scale it down. Let's that works. It works. 1.82, and then a couple of these. Let's see if he's white. Okay. So this is what, 2,960, 1.74 TWR, and then another 702 once we've done those. So yeah, I feel like this is going to be enough to get us into orbit. I do like big rockets. Right, let's well, first of all, let's add our nose cones up here and then strut the bad boy up. I do love catamaran launches. We won't get a chance to launch this. Oh, I keep forgetting to do. Yeah, I keep forgetting to do screenshots. Aerodynamics, where have you gone? There you are. Big delta winglet, 4 of these. On there, let's just check our center of mass aerodynamic overlay. That is fine. We want to add a bunch of, again, like separatrons are just a couple of like one of those big ass the mites. The mites usually work pretty well for the purpose of separation. So we do grab this, we rotate it like so. We clip it in a little, like so. There we go, and then we have these go at the same time as these. Nice. Yeah, I was expecting this to be a lot bigger than it is, that it needs to be. So yes, we will do is we will. Again, I think this thing can get into orbit, so let's pop this down near the ground. Let's add our friendly neighborhood launch clamps. So, add some more strutting while we're here. Maybe over there. Further up. Okay, right, so, before we do anything else, we will check our abort action group. So, yeah. Shut down all of the engines. Activate. Again, we don't need to worry too much about activating this. Fires that, fires this decoupler. Right, I think that'll get him out. Cool. So, now we have to check the staging. So, let's just, can we, I think we can, oh yeah, we can disable the staging on these decouplers because these aren't going to decouple. There we go. So yeah, all of these engines go first of all. Oh, you have to disable staging on all of them? Okay. I thought like symmetry would help with that, but there you go. Cool, yeah, so all the engines go, then these decouplers with these engines at the top should go. Then the fairing, then this decoupler and these engines, then yeah, then these two. And I think at that point we're basically like at the going to like heading to Minmus stage. Do I want to disable? I will disable the reaction wheels on this. I do kind of want to disable them here. So let's add the into the actions, into the abort action for this thing. If we can activate activate the wheel as part of that, so that if we do have to abort, then we don't suddenly go spinning around. I'm just a bit wary of the like action wheels causing the thing to wobble. We'll disable torque in this thing. Let's disable torque in this for now. Just to like limit our wobblingness. So yeah, that goes, then this goes, and this is our like going to Minmus stage. We get rid of that, right? I feel like jettisoning this is something we can do later. So yeah, activating these. that one. And what is this decoupler? That's that one. Okay, yeah. So that's that decoupler. So I feel like this is going to be happening before those. So let's put that down here. Then this is all to do with the return module. Yeah. Okay, so I think our staging is okay. Let's just add a couple of extra fins to here to give us a bit more. Hopefully it's a bit more aerodynamic control. And then maybe, yeah, I think what we'll do is we will duplicate these, bring these down here. In the hope that we can have, but basically they'll push them further away. Basically, just want them to push the side boosters away from the center. Hopefully these should be going off at the same time as those. Yep, that's cool. Alright, I think let's save this. And yeah, I think this will get us into orbit. And this will get us to Minmus, and we'll hopefully have a landing, and then yeah, we'll hopefully have a new hab base on Minmus. We probably won't do everything today, but we'll at least try and get it into orbit and do the EVA. For which, yeah, this has to go first. Right, yeah, so let's try this thing out. So let's yeah, save it. Let's go back to the Kerbal Space Center. We'll go to the next morning. Right, so we're sending a pilot and 2 scientists as a relief crew. So let's go to the Minmus Habitation Module, and we want let's send Camfrey. Let's put Camfrey in the. Oh god, which one is it? Which of the Mark III command pods is it we want them to actually be in? I mean, it doesn't matter. Well, I mean, I guess it doesn't matter too much which one they're in, because I mean, both of them are capable of returning to Kerbin. But maybe we can fix it. So where is he? He's currently in the, I assume, the Cupola module. No, he's in the Hitchhiker storage container. Let's drag you down. And put you in. I'm going to put him in the bottom one. I put them all in the same one, so in case I managed to guess correctly. But I have a feeling these are in order of addition, and I think I added the. Although I disconnected and reconnected it, so maybe it is this one. So if we, oh yeah, I think you can click and drag, can't you? So we've got a pilot. We want Paul and Gilbert. These are all of our, we don't have any of the scientists on staff at the moment, do we? But hopefully, again, we're going to be we're not going to lose these guys. So let's just hit launch and see what even happens. Right. So the question is, where are they? Can we I don't want. Okay, oh, they're in the wrong one, so. Right. I don't want them in that one, I want them in the top one. Okay. Oh right. Let's leave this up so we can transfer everybody else. Transfer crew. Paul into there as well. Transfer Gilbert, so they're also in the top one. There we go. Right. Let's assume they were climbing around inside there. So they are now all in the, hopefully, correct place. Yes, Campri. Yep. They're all in the. They're all in the. Is there a way of recentering the camera? Let's leave it on auto. There we go. Right. So yeah, we think up is up. We are a little bit rotated weirdly, but there we go. SAS, our starting delta V, starting with a route about right anyway. So yeah, let's try this out. Before we do anything else, I do want to grab a screenshot of this for the right. No, that's fine. Right, okay, we're in orbit. And we have 200 meters per second of delta V to spare as well. Okay, right, so let's Alright, I'm wondering if like we'd be bothered to do the EVA or just to transfer them to where they want to live, which they're going to be in. So Camfrey is our pilot, so Camfrey is going to be transferring. Well, he will be when we can actually find him. So we're going to transfer Camfrey to the Cupola module. Can't be asked doing the EVA at the moment, and we will transfer Paul and Gibrit to the Habitation module, where they will be living. Alright, so the next thing is the... Oh yeah. As you can see how long it... Ooh, wow, this is going to be slowly rotating. But again, hopefully once we ditch some of the other components. Right, yeah, so the next thing is to ditch these. So yeah, I kind of wish I'd stuck a probe core on this thing, but there you go. Right, so pull ourselves retrograde. Make sure that we haven't got anybody on board here, which I don't think we do. I don't recall if this thing has a thing, so let's... Doesn't have a probe control, but there you go. Right, let's so the next thing should be these. So goodbye. Nice. 1777 meters per second of delta V. So let's almost up so let's go back prograde and just raise our orbit a bit so that we're not gonna hit this thing. And then we'll look at getting to Minmus. To Minmus. Cool, right, so the next stage is we don't really want to be staging any point soon, but we do want to just time warp a little bit closer. Let's just do a maneuver. So we're nearly at apoapsis as it is. No idea if that's even gonna... Right. Maneuver. Prograde. 83.9 to 9. There we go. That's fine. 0.4 second burn. Let's reduce these down a bit to make these a bit more. 18. Two-second burn. Still not great. Set these to 5. Make it 20 times longer. Anyway, 8-second burn. That's more like it. Let's just go to Let's just warp there. Let's get a swing into orbit of Minmus, and then we can remarkably not wobbly, which I was expecting it to be. Should hopefully stop us from getting bonked by the by that stage. No, the 83.8 to 84.1, that's fine. Cool. So yeah, let's look at our Minmus intercept. Our job to get to Minmus, which is currently here. Well, that's leaving a. Oh yeah, we need to switch these back to 100% because yeah, these burn times are going to be ridiculously long otherwise. So yeah, we have 50 minutes to figure this out. So yeah, which is still way too much. So apparently the rule of thumb is to go about 90 degrees from Minmus. From what I saw in another YouTube video. And then we want to add a course correction burn. There we go. So you get a nice encounter right there. Let's focus on Minmus. See what our periapsis is like. Minmus periapsis is still 1,000,000 meters away, so we go to maneuver 2. And let's get it onto the onto the plane at least. That's about right. And then if we want to come in nice and that'll do. What is that maneuver? Yeah, that's not a lot. So yep, this should hopefully get us in nice and close. We can then figure out our landing. But yeah, so we have a 1 minute 53-second burn in 14 minutes time, 980 meters per second. So let's just do that burn and then figure out the next burn. And yeah, I reckon we can probably get into orbit with this at least, and then we can sort out the. Oh yes, we want to hit the solar panels as well, because otherwise we will possibly run out of power. Although not when we're burning, but right. I suppose we're going to be doing this burn at night. That's fine. Let's just fast forward to it. Cool. Right, this will probably be a bit wrong, but we will correct. Oh, yeah, they're not that far off. Okay, let's refix this. About right. And then actually I feel like maybe better leave it a little bit further, so maybe about 30 kilometers. Should give us some room because we're going to do a rendezvous with this thing afterwards. So what we do is we detach the thing, we bring that down to land, and then we bring the sky crane stage back and do an orbital rendezvous to transfer the crew to the return stage essentially. And this burn is happening in 3 days. We're just passing the 2-hour mark, so I'm gonna get us to orbit Minmus. Will be the plan. So this is a 2-second burn, so we want to adjust our engine throttles to. Having said that, we are coming in on the wrong side, so I feel like maybe we should adjust this slightly. Yeah, because we're coming in. Yeah, we're coming in this way, so we want to be coming in on that side of the way, so we're in a really weird orbit. So let's adjust that. So we're flipping this around. Minmus per access to 30 kilometers on this, about 30k on this side. There we go. Probably a little bit wrong on the. Let's adjust this so we're coming up. There, just about intersecting 29, 32. There we go, 30 kilometers. Right, I think that's the right side, isn't it? So we're coming that way. We're coming in from there. We decelerate and we're going around in a suitable orbit. Right, it's good thing I noticed that. Otherwise, we would have had a bit of an issue. So let's set this down to. I think 10 seconds is a good thing to aim for. So let's set these down to 20. "12-second burn, that's fine. Goodbye, Kerbin. I'll do. Now let's reset these to full power. And let's hit our circularization. So ideally, we want to We also want to try and kind of well, I'll do. It's mostly there for 17-second burn, which will give us a, you know, roughly equatorial. Should pass mostly over the, yeah, it does pass over the landing site, which we will do next time, which will probably be Tuesday, I think, because I'm going to be busy on Thursday. So let's do this, and cool. Alright, this is going to be, like, Minmus is going to come at us from that direction, so we're going to come up on it, aren't we? So I think, yeah, we're coming up on it, so it'll come down from above us. So let's aim there. Let's hit this button. Actually, it's still 14 days away. We're fine. So yeah, our service deployed science keeps transmitting science back to us. So basically, we're generating science all the time. Now here comes Minmus. Three, two, one. There we are. That's about close enough, isn't it? 1 per second. Cool. We are in orbit around Minmus now. It's coming up on its daylight side. So yeah, I think what we'll do is, yeah, we stay parked in this orbit, and we take this thing, which hopefully should be our next stage, should be, yep, to detach this stuff, and we leave this in orbit, and we come back to it at a later time. And this contains our return module. Cool. Just time up a bit so we're around on the daylight side. Okay, do another screenshot. Cool, I think we'll leave it there. 2 hours and 9 minutes. That's a good place to leave it. And yeah, so next time, again, I think it'll be Tuesday. We will be taking this entire contraption, hopefully down onto the surface of Minmus, landing it. We'll then be relieving the crew that's currently on Minmus. They'll be getting on board the top bit here, which will then hopefully detach and then head back into orbit, where it will rendezvous with this thing. They will transfer into the return module, which will then detach and hopefully, without incident, return them to Kerbin, where they'll be reunited with their families. Yeah, so I think we'll head back to Space Center now, and we will come back to that later point. And then we'll focus on the once this is down and once they're relieved, and once they're back on Kerbin, we will then go just well, either we'll go straight for returning, getting the Duna mission back, or we'll look at potentially doing something with Moho or Dres, depending on whether we can design something that will actually get a crew there or not. So let's save the game. Save 27. And let's quit to main menu. Right, so hope people have enjoyed watching this. If you've been watching along, or if you're watching on YouTube, then yeah, hope you've found it interesting, or not. Doesn't matter. Yeah, so I'll be seeing people again. I think I'm going to do Tuesday unless anything else changes, which I will try and schedule on Twitch. Yeah, other than that, it'll probably be if that doesn't happen, then it'll be next Sunday. So yeah, cheerio.